Welcome to Marie's Country Life. Today I'm going to show you how I dehydrated the apples we have using a food dehydrator. These apples are Fuji variety and we bought 2 boxes. First, of course, wash the apples thoroughly. Make sure that there are no bad spots. Remove the bad spots. And after washing, slice the apples in whatever shape you want. What I did was I cut the apples into wedges. The thinner the better, but it doesn't really matter as long as you cut them to size and that they will fit on the screen when you dehydrate them. So the wedges that I sliced are more of a medium size, not too thick, not too thin. And of course, make sure that you remove the core, the seeds, and any bad spots of the apples because you want the good apples only to dehydrate. After slicing the apples, place the sliced apples evenly on the dehydrator rack and make sure that they are not too close to each other or on top of each other because you want the heat to evenly distribute and you want the heat to evenly dehydrate the apple pieces. So for a batch of dehydrated apples, I cut up or I sliced half a box of Fuji apples, and I was able to use all the racks that come with the STX Dehydra. Place the racks with sliced apples in the dehydrator. Make sure that they are evenly placed to allow even heat distribution. My dehydrator, which is the STX Dehydra, it has options on what temperature you can set the veggies or the fruits that you're going to dehydrate. For fruits, it says here it's 135 Fahrenheit. And because my sliced apples are not really thin, so I decided to set them to 143 degrees for 15 hours. 15 hours is the maximum time that it allows you to set the timer. And of course, after 15 hours, check the apple pieces. If they are done or if not, you can add more time and you can set to however long you want them to sit in the dehydrator. Obviously, after 15 hours, when I checked the apple pieces, most of them were still soft. So I added another 8 hours just to make sure that they're all hard and done. Because the idea of dehydrating is to remove the moisture, otherwise they will go bad if you pack them when they are still moist and soft. So I added 8 hours, and after adding 8 hours, when I checked the apple pieces, some of them were still soft, so I added 2 more hours to completely dry the apple pieces. The total dehydration process was 25 hours at 143 degrees Fahrenheit. And of course, the first time I set the timer, it was 15 hours at 143 degrees. And after feeling the pieces, most of them were still damp. So I added 8 more hours. And after 8 more hours, some of them were still a little damp, so I added 2 more hours. So basically 25 hours, 15 hours, and just add 10 more hours after that. The reason why I extended the timing because I wanted to make sure that the pieces were dry and not damp, because the idea of dehydrating is to remove the moisture, because if they are not done or if they are still moist and damp when you pack them, the apple pieces will go bad. They will be moldy and they won't be good for eating. So please, when dehydrating, use your judgment properly. It's actually better to extend the dehydration, the timing, instead of cutting short, because after all, the safety of your food is your utmost priority. After dehydrating the apples, let the apples cool off. You can actually hear the apples sounds, the pieces, it's more crunchy. And here I have Mylar bags. It's 5 cm thickness. It's a gallon size. I decided to use the Mylar bags, and I also have oxygen absorbers. The oxygen absorbers are 500 cc. These will help absorb whatever oxygen that's in the bag. So if you want to extend the shelf life of your dehydrated food, it's better to put them in Mylar bags and put some oxygen absorbers to preserve the dehydrated fruits. And of course, because I have a bigger pack of oxygen absorbers, for a pack it has like 20 pieces, it is better to use them once they're open. So if you can plan on having more veggies or fruits to dehydrate, that way when you open the oxygen absorbers, you can just put them all in Mylar bags, so you don't waste the oxygen absorbers, because once they're open, it will dissipate or it will activate the absorption of the oxygen. So each of these Mylar bags have sliced apples, the dried apples. And of course, don't forget to label each bag and make sure that you put the month and the year for when you did the process. It just helps you, it will help you know what you put inside, of course. And again, once you open a bag of oxygen absorbers, in this bag it has 20 pieces, and if you can plan on having multiple bags to seal with oxygen absorbers, it's better because you don't want to waste the packets. And if you have extra, you can seal them up again and put them in Mylar bags, but it is better, and I highly recommend to make use of them once you open them. And after putting the 500 cc oxygen absorber, make sure that you air out each bag, air out as much as you can, remove the unnecessary excess air inside, and make sure that you seal or close the Mylar bags properly, because you don't want oxygen inside, you don't want it to leak. And after sealing the Mylar bags, after closing the Mylar bags, use a hair straightener to seal the bag. At 400 degrees, the temperature, hold and count at least 10 seconds to seal or melt the Mylar bags. This will help seal the bags properly. In one of the bags, I applied the heat pressure just past the ziplock or the opening, but I think the heat applied just before the ziplock works better because it ensures that it has a bigger or wider space or sealing. Anyway, the idea is to prevent oxygen inside the bag. And once the oxygen absorbers are inside the bags with the apples, the apple pieces will keep inside the bag. As long as the bags are sealed, they will keep for 3 years or 5 years. And once they are packed or sealed, please avoid touching or pressing the bags, because you don't want the apple pieces to poke the Mylar bags. And you will notice that the bags are wrinkly because the oxygen absorbers are doing its job to remove the oxygen. I hope this video is helpful to you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.